Good morning. Of all the things that Jesus could have prayed for us as believers in Him, as Christians, John 17 records 3 of the requests that He made. Let's review them. John 17:11, Holy Father, keep them in your name, which you have given me, that they may be one, even as we are one. Now, the key word in Jesus' request is keep. To guard, keep an eye on, watch over. So His request, Holy Father, watch over them and guide them. Jesus would experience suffering and death. Who would watch over His disciples while He was doing this? Holy Father, keep an eye on them. Not that He wouldn't, but to hear Jesus pray this must have brought His disciples great comfort. He's asking His Father to take care of His disciples. And even after He's raised from the dead, keep looking out for them. If you ever wonder if God is watching over us, over you, He is. Today, God is watching over your life and guiding you because Jesus asked Him to. Find comfort in that. His second request, John 17:15, I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. Request number 2, protect them from the evil one. Jesus is specific, isn't He? He knows that our greatest threat is not physical or even emotional. It's spiritual. There is a battle waging in the heavenlies for the hearts of people, including yours. So Jesus prays for our spiritual protection from evil, that which would defile us, lead us away from God. When Jesus saves us, He doesn't take us out of the world. We're left here for a season. So Jesus is praying that as long as we're here, we will be protected from evil. I think of Ananias and Sapphira, believers in the early church, who let the devil influence their hearts so that they both lied to the church leaders. Sadly, God had to discipline them for it. He would not have His church, His people, lying to each other. We're people of the truth. We don't live by lies. So Jesus prays for our protection from the father of lies, the evil one. His third request, verse 17, sanctify them in your truth. Your word is truth. Sanctify, to make holy, like God, to separate from profane things and dedicate to God. So that's request number 3, sanctify them from the world. That means make them holy and use your word to do it so they know the truth and they live it. That's His prayer for us. So, do you see the answers to those prayers? God's watch, care, and guidance in your life, God's protection from the evil one, God's sanctifying work in you, leading you to know the truth of His word. Every time He does these things, they are answers to Jesus' prayers. So thank Him. William Walford was blind. So he listened to God's word and worked hard to memorize vast portions of it. When called upon to preach in a local English church nearby, he relied on the Lord's help and quoted the scriptures he had memorized. He also loved music and composed verses in his mind. One day a man heard about him and wanted to meet him. Visiting in his home, William began to share some verses that he wanted written down. So Thomas Salmon from New York got a pencil and paper, jotted them down, and was so moved by them that he sent them to the local paper for their consideration. Well, they were published September 13th, 1845. They were eventually put to music and then included in many hymnals. Vincent is coming to minister to us as we close out our week. Worship with him and pray. Sweet hour of prayer.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne, make all my wants and wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief, and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, the joys I feel, the bliss I share, of those whose anxious spirits burn with strong desires for thy return. With such I hasten to the place where God my Savior shows his face, and gladly take my station there, and wait for thee, sweet hour of prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, thy wings shall my petition bear, to him whose truth and faithfulness engage the waiting soul to bless. And since he bids me seek his face, believe his word and trust his grace, I'll cast on him my every care, and wait for thee, sweet hour of prayer, and wait for thee.